Welcome to PACTApp. In this tutorial, I am going to show how to manage listing books. In order to manage listing books, first we have to open an existing survey or create a new one. So I am going to click on the surveys on the menu bar, then click on the survey projects. We can create new projects or go to an existing one. I am going to an existing one. Clicking on the eye icon will show the detailed view of the project. Here I am going to add a new survey by clicking on the add new survey on the top right corner. I'm going to use some dummy data here. In order to associate a listing book with a particular survey, we have to check this has listing book checkbox at the end. So I'm checking this checkbox and saving this survey. So a new survey is created. If we go to the detailed view of this survey, we will have the option to access the listing books in the list. So this view will initially load it with all the drafted listing books associated to this survey. If we want to filter it down with the other statuses like submitted, approved, rejected or all statuses, we can do it from here. We can export listing book data by clicking on this button. So all the listing books data will be exported. We can add new listing book or we can copy existing listing book by clicking on this copy listing book. I am going to create a new listing book, so I am going to click on the add new button. So this new listing book form will appear. I am going to use some dummy data here. I'm selecting the supervision date, clicking on the calendar icon, going to click on the save button. So a new listing book is created. Initially it is in drafted mode. So when it is in drafted mode, we can actually edit it as many times as we want. But if we submit this listing book, it will actually go for the review. And if we want to add listing book entries for this particular listing book, we can do this by clicking on this plus symbol, or we can go to the listing book entries list view by clicking on the list icon, or we can edit this listing book by clicking on the edit icon, see detail by clicking on the eye icon. Even we can delete this listing book clicking on the delete icon. I am going to add some entry from here. This listing book entry can be added from the mobile app as well. So I'm going to add a new listing book entry. I'm going to use some dummy data here. We have to provide two different members detail here. And click on the save button. So this listing book entry is created. All the listing book entries will be shown here. Here as well we can do the filtering for the submitted, approved, rejected and all. We can also do some searching from here. So let me add another data. So I'm creating the second listing book entry. So from here we can actually do the searching, clicking on the search. So this is how the listing book entries view will be shown. We can add new listing book entries from here as well by clicking on the add new icon, button, and at any point we can see the detail of this listing book by clicking on the eye icon, edit by edit icon, and delete by delete icon. If we click on the eye icon, the detail will be shown. From here as well, we will have the option to submit, edit, or delete. If we submit a particular listing book, we will not be able to modify it anymore. For example, I am going to, let's see which one. I am going to submit the listing book entry for Mr. Ripon here. Submitting. So verifying that yes, I want to submit. So this item is going to be submitted. We can go to the listing book entries from the breadcrumb menu as well by clicking on the listing book entries. It will load the all the values here. If we filter by all and clear the search, we will see all the data here. If we click on the submitted one only and filter, only submitted one will be shown. Yeah. So finally, if we want to go to the listing book ID, listing book, so here this is our listing book. If we click on the eye icon, and if we think that all the data are inputted here, we can click on the submit and it will be reconfirmed. But listing book entries are not approved. This message we get because this listing book has some entries that are not yet approved. That means if we want to submit this particular listing book, we have to check that all the listing book entries under this particular listing book is approved or reject, either approved or rejected. In that scenario, it will allow us to submit this one, and then it will be available for the approval. So this is how the listing book is managed into the system. Thanks for watching the tutorial.